Done. Did.
Welcome to the Business of Black Business, a weekly talk show that interviews Black entrepreneurs and advocates for Black businesses. Our topics include access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Jay Reynolds.
Hello, business family, and welcome to the Business of Black Business. Got a question for you. Are you aware of kids in our neighborhood today that are looking for summer activities? Today, we get to talk to a power couple that's basically designed a really holistic approach to summer camping and other opportunities for kids. It is an amazing opportunity for kids, and I can't wait to have this discussion. Hello, my name is Jay Reynolds. I own Wolf Creek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing company. This is the Business of Black Business. And this show is designed to help Black entrepreneurs and would-be Black business owners start and scale for business. But it's also a unique opportunity to talk to thought leaders within our community. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So help me and welcome. I want you to meet the beautiful, vivacious, and talented Telena Paris, President and CEO of Dream to Lead, and her partner, Kristoffer, NBA player Doura. How are you? How are you guys?
Great. Thanks for having us today, Jay.
Hey, no, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I kind of feel like you guys are family. We travel in the same circles, and I get to see you guys on a routine basis. And I'm so happy to have you on the show today so we can talk about some of the wonderful things that you are doing to change the trajectory of lives of some of the kids in our community. Now, Dream to Lead, as I understand it, is a mentoring program built around sports and academics. And the program is, like I mentioned before, kind of a holistic approach, that not only promotes physical health and teamwork, but also fosters critical thinking, teaches a person how to think, how to problem solve, and how to develop leadership skills. So I'm really interested in this. I am all about kids. So, hey guys, why don't you do me a big favor first of all? Introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, not just your resume, but tell me what makes you you. Introduce yourself to the audience. Who are your mentors? Why are you the person you are today?
I'm going to go ahead and let the founder of the organization, Kristoffer Doura, start, and then I'll follow through.
Sounds good. Great.
Well, Jay, thank you so much. Telena, my other half, I wanted to say thank you. But by the grace of God, we're here today. We're all here together because we have one common purpose, is to really impact children. Coming out of the NFL was definitely a testimony in itself. Facing a near-death experience really took me out of that business. But education was what was pressed into my brain every single day in my upbringing in my home. Coming from a Haitian immigrant family, my mother made sure that education was key. So when I think about what happened in my journey, I had to exit that business, and it really demonstrated my character and the intent that I had to serve. When I realized that I had a near-death experience and my heart stopped because I dehydrated with the NFL, I had to transition and fall back on my schooling. And that's really when my master's degree really led the way for me. I became a corporate professional and decided that I wanted to do more. And I wanted to really inspire the youth because I realized that with the generation today and what's happening, there are not enough people like us who are mentors giving these kids the right direction. So, in 2016, Dreams.
Well, tell you what, I'm going to stop you a little bit, Kristoffer, because I want you to, Telena, I want you to introduce yourself because we're going to spend the majority of our time drilling down into your project, right? Because it's so important. What you're doing is so important. I don't want to. I want to make sure that we're having that discussion in a fairly holistic kind of way. So, Telena, really quick, why don't you kind of introduce yourself and tell the viewing audience who you are so we can talk about your program.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I am the CEO of Dream to Lead. D2L is what we call it as the acronym. And what we're here day is ADT, which is adventurology, the summer camp. This summer camp pretty much is for youth between the ages of 11 to 18 years old. And our whole goal through D2L is to make an impact on society, making sure that we build leaders now in the youth stage so that they'll be our future leaders and successful leaders of tomorrow. Our organization focuses definitely on sports and entertainment, but we also focus on science, engineering, technology, arts, and math, which is that educational fundamental that helps to stabilize and sustain youth going forward throughout their future.
Got it. Perfect. Tell us a little bit from your perspective, Kristoffer, why Dream to Lead? Tell me a little bit about, you start telling us about your background and how things took you from the field to corporate America, but tell us a little bit about that evolution to Dream to Lead.
I was always inspired by athletes, entertainers growing up, but I just never had access to them. And I didn't have access because I didn't go to a private school, nor did my parents send me to these, type of scenes unless we went to a game as a family. And I realized that a lot of children today look up to these athletes and
Oh,
entertainers.
absolutely.
We're TikToking, they're Instagramming, they're on social media. So it's like, well, how do we make sure that the message is not twerking or the message is not, what they see only on TV when they're talking about, drugs, sex, and money? The real answer is, well, how do we allow athletes and entertainers and professionals to provide access to these young people? So, through, the pandemic and just through challenges as we kept on evolving in our own journeys, realized that there was a need. So Dream to Lead, was really founded in 2016, but it's not until my other half, Telena, really decided to jump on board and help us really with the growth and the vision. So together we are a power couple, and we're demonstrating that as in Black America, there are ways to serve. There are ways to provide access. I've taken a role at the sports bank. As you can see behind me, we do a lot of business with a lot of pro teams like the Panthers, the Heat, the Marlins, Sports, and and soccer, to name a few. But I've realized that this is an amazing opportunity that has allowed me to continue to work within sport, not as an actual athlete, but now as a professional who does private banking in the sports and entertainment division. So with that, I realized that, that's my day job, but really
Yeah.
my impact and the driver for why I'm inspired is to really serve our children. And that was really the calling that God bestowed upon me, that I can provide more than just, access to private banking and then just access to athletes and entertainers. But with now D2L, there's a mission, there's a focus to make sure that we can help kids from 11 all the way through the ages of 24 know that it's okay if you don't go pro. It's okay if you don't become an entertainer. It's
Right.
okay if one
No
day
one
you don't get on that big stage. We want to give you the ability to have access to mentors and our programs at D2L.
Well, I got to tell you, that is just so important. I mean, your story is an amazing story that says, hey, look, I had to prepare myself to do other things. And Telena, let me ask you a question real quick. In terms of, before we go to break, you do a lot of things and consulting services and some other things that you do. You're a serial entrepreneur. Why is this so important to you?
I'm a mom. So, and even before I was a mom, I was always into youth, and into giving back, and philanthropic efforts have always been a huge part of who I am. Couple of the nonprofits I worked for, we dealt with recidivism, we dealt with at-risk youth, we dealt with at-risk populations, and my goal is hopefully to make some type of legacy impact, to make sure that we make a difference on society. And what better way to do it is through our youth. If we start while they're young, we can definitely impact our futures, and not only their futures, but the futures of our communities, no matter if it's locally, nationally, or abroad.
Got it. And how did you guys decide that this made sense? What was the catalyst?
Love was the catalyst. When you think about it.
Isn't that the way that works, right? Hey, but like you said at the very beginning, by the grace of God, man, God always has a plan for us, right?
That's it. And I was gonna say, love definitely is the center of it, but it is a God's plan, right? And so when you find your partner, your life partner, and you like, if you're a person that's a believer, the one of the first things you need to ask is, what is God's plan in this union, right? What is your plan? And we are constantly evolving, and even though we are on this pathway, it's just the beginning of what we have
Right,
to set
right.
forth when it goes to walking in the pathway that God has lined up for us. So definitely, I would say the catalyst in this is making sure that our union is based on God's plan and God's work. And just so happened, we shared such a beautiful vision when it came to impacting our communities, impacting the youth, and making sure that we created legacies, not only for ourselves, but for generations to come in our communities.
So important. Hey, we're going to need to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's drill down into your programs and your services and the way you provide them, because I really want people to understand it. We're going to come right back when they pay the bills, right?
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman and Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters, because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Help comes in many forms. As a Miami-Dade County bus operator, you can help your community, help those in need, and even help yourself. Operators have the opportunity to earn more than $50,000 a year plus built-in overtime, earn more than 13 paid holidays and vacation days, and take advantage of the tuition reimbursement program. Plus, qualified new drivers will receive a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Become a driving force in our community. Apply now at miamidade.gov/busdriver.
Welcome back. Now, one of the things that's really important to me is the changes that I'm seeing in schools: discipline, academic issues, testing, all of those things that our kids seem to be struggling with. Why don't you guys give me your thoughts about that? Because I'm sure that is a part of the catalyst as it relates to what you're doing right now. But what's your perspective about what we're starting to see in the performance of schools, school age kids?
I'd like to step in and demonstrate that when I grew up in school, sports was, the way out. And obviously, if you have academics, there are only a certain type of student that focused on education because they had that instilled in their upbringing. Not all children have access to sports or the academia. However, today, as we see technology ruining our youth, we realize that D2L is focused on not only a STEAM's curriculum, but we want to make sure that, obviously those acronyms of science, tech, engineering, arts, math, and sports are something that we can provide through D2L. And sports is the catalyst of really allowing these kids to stay healthy. Because I believe that when you have a healthy balance of nutrition, but you also have academics, you can actually perform at a higher level. So D2L is really focused on providing that platform to give these kids the access that can help them make better decisions, to help them, become better civilians, but, better Americans as well.
Great. What's your thought, Telena?
Definitely going to back them up there. Our youth, if you're an educator or if you know anything about education, have experienced such a tumultuous turning when it comes to what is acceptable, what is not acceptable when it comes to acquiring an educational background. If you're an athlete for years over, I mean, this is decades over for as long as I can remember, an athlete, and being a former athlete myself back in high school running track. And then, obviously I'm not pro, but Kristoffer has been pro. You're first taught to be strategic. You're supposed to sacrifice time, effort for the greater good of the team, as well as your strength and agility. But one of the things that lacks a lot of the times is focusing on the educational subset that needs to happen to go along with that. Because as we know, not everybody makes it to the pros. Kristoffer
Mhm.
was lucky. He made it to the pros, but not
Right.
everybody does. Not everybody makes it to the semi-pros. Not everybody makes it to elite. And then talking about our other youth, because not everybody that is a part of Drink to Lead is a athlete. There are people that are entertainers, maybe they're singers, maybe they are performers in their own right, but not everybody makes it to the big stage, right? So
Mhm.
what else is there to do? What other love do you have? Just because you are talented doesn't mean that you don't love to do something else for your career path. So maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe you want to be a nurse, maybe you want to be a astronaut, or maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. What are you? What are we? What's happening? Also, want for holistic approaches when it comes to grooming a child for the best result or impact they could possibly have in their lives. And for me, STEAM, with all the acronyms, because you'll see a lot of
Mhm.
things going STEM now, which is science,
Right.
technology, engineering, and math. I firmly believe in creativity, innovation. I believe in people having the opportunity to go and actually start new things. I mean, look at you, Jay. You have your own business. You have your own business model. You're sitting here. You're also doing your shows and things like that, which sparks creativity. That's ingenious. I want the youth to be able to have those opportunities. And having 4 degrees myself, I don't want to push that on anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Education is
Right.
important, but not everybody's going to get a degree. Not everybody's
Right.
going to go to college. Not
Really, not everybody's gonna get 4 degrees. You didn't drink enough beer.
you know what I mean? But seriously, not everybody's going to have that. And I respect that. So, what do we do with everybody where they are in their journey and really help them win? This is what Dream to Lead is about.
We're not picking and choosing who is allowed to, join D2L. We want
Understood.
all children. We want all children to understand that we are a very open platform, and we will receive you, and we will make sure that you have the resources that you need. However, there will be a curriculum. There will be a focus of making sure that you meet the criteria to graduate every single year in our program, to make sure that you're demonstrating that you're applying what you're learning, you're gaining from your mentorship program, and you are able to grow within D2L, because the nature of D2L is to host these children, but to make them better in life, make them better at health, and then make them become knowledgeable of wealth building as well. So that's the reason why Emmer Bank is going to host a financial literacy program
God,
at
I
our
love
event
that.
this year.
I love that. I
And
mean,
that
I'm a big proponent of, you can give a man a fish. If you teach some man to fish, you can feed a village, right?
indeed.
So I really believe in financial literacy. I really believe in that teaching, kids strength training, but also strengthening the brain at the same time. I just think that is so important, and I applaud you guys for doing that. What are you looking to do to level up? What's the next thing? Before we
So,
go to break, we have about another minute, and we're gonna go to break. But I really want to know what the next level for you guys looks like. Quick.
you want me to take this one?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
As the CEO of D2L, please share our vision.
Right. And so, the summer camp is only a program, Jay. We have programming all throughout the year. And, definitely, I'm sure Christopher can back me up on this. Our subset for the program, our whole goal is to mentor, right? So
Mhm.
11 to 18 year olds old, they receive group mentorship, but we also work with community partners, strong network community partners that are high value or high net worth that really come in and help provide mentorship programming for our youth. And we also do individual programmings from the ages of 18 to 24 when it comes to mentorship. The reason we do this is because it seems that if you look at mentorship programs, they focus on particular subsets, and no harm, no foul to those. But we really want to make sure that as they grow, we follow them through their growth stages so that by the time that an average person hits 24, they've either gotten through college or are already in the midst of college, or they've gone to the pros, or they've started their career paths of some sort, but really it's hanging on to them real tight when they start to enter into society that way,
Right.
and making sure that we guide them, but also making sure that we create a large enough network that for every child that has an interest, we have someone in our network that could actually help them and guide them along the pathway to keep them resound, but also to help them grow within that vicinity. We have so many different, and we're lucky, for us to be in our infancy. They have so many community partners, such as the Discovery of Science, Joe DiMaggio,
Wow. Wow.
Amaret
That's
Bank,
amazing.
just to name a few. That
In
and
the
they even
U.S. Army.
and the U.S. Army.
That,
Thank
that,
you.
that to me is amazing. In the very infancy of your program, you've got those kinds of people, those kind of trademarks behind you. I tell you what, let's do. Let's go to our second commercial break. When we come back, I really want to talk about that a little bit more. How you guys have built that and groomed it and attracted so many different trademarks to that have basically aligned themselves with you. We'll be right back.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman and Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Help comes in many forms. As a Miami-Dade County bus operator, you can help your community, help those in need, and even help yourself. Operators have the opportunity to earn more than $50,000 a year plus built-in overtime, earn more than 13 paid holidays and vacation days, and take advantage of the tuition reimbursement program. Plus, qualified new drivers will receive a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Become a driving force in our community. Apply now at miamidade.gov/busdriver.
Great. Let's welcome back, guys. And I really want to kind of drill down into the things that you guys are doing that will lead you to not only and level up your business in the next five years or so, but what you've done to attract the kinds of trademarks that you guys have already attracted. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you go through talking to telling the story to get people excited? Because you obviously got people excited right away. I'm just really impressed by that. I mean, old guys like me, it took me 22 years to build my business, but you guys look like you're doing it at light speed, right? So I'm really curious.
Well, Jay, it's not a membership; it's a relationship, and I say that because intentionally, it takes two to really build this. And Telena and I have teamed up with not only our years of experience, but the relationships that people trust in what we serve. And that's the reason why people are very excited and they're gravitating towards this mission. It's not about myself. It's not about, who we are. We're behind the scenes. We want the children to be at the forefront. So when we're doing something that is destined by God, this is God's work. And the people who are aligned with us are God's people. So the major trademarks, everyone who supports us from the U.S. Army, Joe DiMaggio's, XL Florida Mentoring, all the way to mods, they believe in serving the children. And that's really the focus of why these people have aligned with our mission. And they're not just, one-time activations. These are long-term
Right.
partnerships
Right.
that we have
Right.
demonstrated at a very early stage of what we're building here. And there's more to come. We just have not acknowledged every single partner, but there will be many more major businesses, sports conglomerates, as well as other, military agencies, as well as other professional athletes who will be a part of D2L's Adventurology, July 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Wow, that's actually amazing work, man. You guys are on a rocket ship to doing something again, like I said in the very onset, that will change lives exponentially. All these kids ever need is somebody to flip the light switch on, and they take over from there. Um, Tell me, what else do you want us to know? And maybe we can share the graphics to again about your program. But what else do you want us to know about where you're headed and what you're doing?
Well, one thing I want to make sure I highlight, since we have the flyer up here, and then I'm going to let Chris jump in, is that we have scholarship for kids. So if there are any parents out there or wanting their children between the ages of 11 to 18-year-old to participate in this, we know that living in South Florida, living in any part of the United States for that matter, it can be tough trying to get your kids to go to a camp, especially if there's an expense associated with it. Our camp will feed these children breakfast and lunch, well-rounded meals each day that they're there. And then on top of that, we have scholarships that are available currently right now. And, I'm going to let Kristoffer do the honors of revealing how many current scholarships we have available that's left for people to participate and have their children actually sign on. But if you have a child or know of a child between the ages of 11 to 18 years old, no matter if they're female or male, have them sign up and contact us on our website at d2lead.org. So, Chris, we want to go ahead and do the honors and tell us a little bit more about the scholarships.
Well, it's getting registration and things are signing up fairly quickly. We have about 75 scholarships left. But the only way to access these scholarships is parents have to go on our website at d2lead.org and register and really provide us with the compliance to make sure that their children will be safe, to understand what their children's needs are. But at the same time, it's really first come, first serve. So parents, if you're out there listening, don't sleep on this one, because this is going to be an opportunity to get it done. Let's hurry up and register. The summer is hot and things are getting hotter. So July 26th, 27th, 28th, we will be at D1 Training Facility in Deerfield Beach. And this is going to be an amazing, amazing experience. Not only will your children be able to walk out of here with an experience, but an everlasting memory that will allow them to grow as young, strong adults and be prepared for our future and future leadership roles.
Telena, Chris, you guys are amazing, an absolute power couple. But not only that, doing God's work, doing the work that's needed in our community. I always say that if it is to be, it's up to me. And you guys are actually taking on that mantra. This is the business of Black business. My name is Jay Reynolds. I just want to thank Legacy Magazine for making this important. And I get to see you guys again next week when we talk about something that's also equally important to our communities. But you guys keep doing the good work, and keep fighting the good fight. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Next time.
Thank you.